Hello and welcome back to Football Manager, eventually, I'll admit. It's been a while, and sorry about that, of course. We've got our game against Bristol City today, and Luton Town afterwards. We've had fairly strong form going into this. Apart from the defeat to Swansea, we haven't actually lost a league game until all the way back here against Ipswich Town. So I think we've got a fairly good, strong showing to put on against Bristol and Luton, who are both mid-table teams, except for, well no, Luton are still mid-table. They were down in the 20s at one point. So I do think we've got a strong chance of winning this. So far, Millwall have not beaten Bristol City in this save. Now, that could continue. It might not. I don't genuinely know. We're going to have both Tommy Doyle and Matthew Clark in this match, but we won't have them next match because they need rests. We've got Louis Arroyo going out on loan to some team, I believe, in South America, because he threw a hissy fit that he wasn't playing, and I don't think he kind of deserves the position anymore. Marlon Romeo's taking up the role of full-time right back now. He's doing very well at it. I mean, can't really deny it. Pablo Turgeon still out on international duty, so he won't be in this game or the next one. Oh, very frozen pitch there at the Den. This could be fun for a fan to go watch. I mean, I've never been to lower than 5 degrees when I've been to a football match, so this could be fun. Been 10 minutes so far and no highlights and no shots either, so... Oh, there we go. We've got a free kick now on the edge of the box from number 16, Doyle. Swings the ball in, saved by David Bentley though. It's looking like that we've got a chance for another corner kick from Doyle here. Swings it in, and it's headed away by Callis to Thompson on the edge of the box. Swings it in again, but it's away now by not even a chance the pronunciation of that name, because I might offend half of Eastern Europe. Oh, and Balogun couldn't quite scramble that across the line. Looking positive start so far. Thrown from Romeo to Doyle. Doyle gets it past his man, crossed the ball in, but taken out of the air by Bentley. Bristol City are defending fairly well. Even if we're getting a lot of shots in, they're not letting these shots turn into goals. Romeo picks the ball up, passes it to Muric. Muric holds the ball up and waits for the team to reform. To Nzebe, a long ball out to the left wing, finds Viabar. A long ball forward finds Balogun, who does end up making me eat my words again, and gives us a 1-0 lead. It appears that this stadium is fairly full, except for the away stand. Should be around about 17,000 fans here, give or take. Couple hundred. Clark's header. Ben Knight swings in though and scores on the goal line, stealing a goal from the young centre-back. Just proving that youth definitely are a lot more selfish. I don't really think I should actually have that claim because I am only 19 years old. I think I'm literally the exact same age as Ben Knight, so that really isn't a good comparison to make. Ball swung in for Bristol City though, just over the bar from the header, which is lucky. Unsurprisingly, their left back is very frustrated, which, I mean, so would you be if you've let in 2 fairly simple goals. I mean, that second one for Ben Knight was just a scramble in the box. Doyle now with a free kick though, and it's Matthew Clark will get his goal for a free kick from Tommy Doyle. And Bristol City's unbeaten streak against Millwall has most likely ended today on the 4th of February 2023. And at minus 6 degrees, I'm thinking these Millwall fans are a bit cheered up now. Doyle with a ball forward finds Balogun, saved by Bentley though. Oh no, it's a free kick, so it's offside. Half the time I don't even see these offsides. They're just given for inexplainable reasons, to be honest with you. I'll make one change, being Thompson for Kapue, Other than that, I'll leave the team as it is, because it is playing very well as a unit so far. But Thompson hasn't actually shown up once, as far as I'm aware, to touch the ball in a highlight. So, oh, actually, 19,000 people here. So despite the fact the away stand is fairly, not full, there is still almost a full stadium here. Almost full attendance despite that away stand. And Anthony Semenyo does pull one back for Bristol City, which is not good for us because it means they have a chance at a comeback, which we do not want to see happen. In the 60th minute so far, Bristol City are still only 1 goal to our 3. Ibu Sissoko coming on now for the Polish guy, who I've got no chance of pronouncing the name of. And we've got Ronnie Carter and Maxime Punje coming on as well. The only reason I know how to say that name is because I heard it on Sky once, so yeah. It's the only reason I know how to pronounce his name. And thankfully, in the last 10 minutes of this match, Bristol City have not been capable of scoring another goal, and Matthew Clark will get man of the match in this game for an 8.7 out of 10 rating, which I think is fairly good, fairly strong. 25th goal for Bristol City for Antoine Semenyo. No goal records for us, obviously just league appearance records. So we got a game against Luton Town on the day that Nuno Freitas joins the club. But he won't be playing in that match for obvious reasons. He needs to build up his match fitness. So he'll be in the under-23s for, I'd say, about a month before he's capable of playing in the first team. Jacob Murphy gets a 0-0 draw with Nottingham Forest. Swansea do lose with Richard Narte at the back. Pedro Diaz also loses 4-0 for Blackburn. That's quite bad. York get a 1-1 draw with Hartlepool. Nathan Burke gets a 1-1 draw against Cambridge. Mark Newell and Josh Smythe get a 2-0 win over Gosport. It's good for Chelmsford. Mladen Vukasevic gets a 3-2 defeat for Hale Turman against Kidderminster. Leyton Orient draw 1-1 with George Alexander. Southend's Uwakwe gets a 1-1 draw with Cheltenham. Boston United with Sam Jones and Mengi get a 0-0 draw with Morecambe. Both of these players are doing fairly well this season. Mengi's actually got 5 goals to his name as a centre-back. Eastbourne Borough, 1-0 win for them with Shane Hawksworth. And Jake Beattie loses 1-0 for Hampton and Richmond against Dorking Wanderers. And I will be giving both of these players a rest in the next game because they're not really that required in terms of the Luton Town game, because they're not a difficult opponent this season, I wouldn't have thought. I mean, granted, yes, they're 16th place, but we have a team that's top of the table and I believe clear by 5 points, on second place. Although it will go down to 3 points if Brentford win their game in hand against Luton Town. So Luton Town have got some catching to do, but they have got an incredible striker at their team, an 18-year-old Frenchman called Laurent Viel, who arguably is probably the best young striker in the world. Alfie McCalmont now. He's not really good enough, so he's never going to join us, I wouldn't have thought. Have a quick look at the social feed. Nothing interesting. Colchester make a 5 unbeaten there. So Colchester could actually be staying up. Unlikely, they're in 22nd place, but with 5 games unbeaten, if they extend that to 10 games, that's going to be at least 5 points, which will put them all the way up to here in 17th place. So Colchester could very well survive. They could also not. It's a toss-up, really. Nothing of note happening as far as I'm aware. There are currently no international jobs available. I have looked. The closest international job to availability is Uzbekistan. Now, I'm not going to take on the role of the Uzbekistani manager, because I want to take on the role of a team I'm going to win with. And Uzbekistan is not that team. Nothing against any Uzbekistani players, it's just the fact that arguably, they're not strong enough for the Asian football leagues. In terms of, the Asian World Cup qualifiers, they are not strong enough to beat any real team other than maybe the Middle East and possibly Pakistan, that sort of area. But they can't even beat Tajikistan, so I think it's probably best for them to have a manager who's okay with defeat. When I lose a game on this, I get annoyed, especially when, I'm supposed to have won the game. Like if we were to lose against Oxford United in this, after I've played Luton Town, I would get annoyed because they are a team that we should be beating. But yeah. But now I've said that obviously we're going to lose to Oxford United because that's how this game works. It hears things, despite the fact I've only got the microphone connected to a recording software. The game will still hear you speaking to it, and the game will still make you lose those games. It's like if you click on a player's name, they're going to score a goal. Obviously, unless it's the goalkeeper, then they're going to keep clean sheet. So, yeah, kind of, I'll admit, kind of odd. The game's taking a while to load for some reason. I don't quite understand why that is. Within 23 games, I guess, playing, they have to pull those through, but still, just seems rather odd that the number of games is this high. Oh, Dundee beat Ross County 3-0 in the Scottish Championship. They could be going back to the Scottish Premier Division at a moment's notice, really. Borussia Dortmund beat Bochum 3-1, thanks to Alcacia, Osimhen and Sargent. Not bad for Borussia. Although apparently, actually, Borussia Dortmund have got the best striker in the game currently, being the Swedish Alexander Isak, who is an incredible player. He's most likely going to be the next Zlatan, if he's not already the next Zlatan. Just have a quick search of his name. Alexander Isak. Oh, he's at Real San Sebastian now. Okay, he's moved on. Yeah, he was at Borussia Dortmund from 17 to 19. He must have moved on at some point. But he is literally the best striker in this game, most likely. And I do think that because of that, he's probably going to lead Sweden to some kind of championship. Whether it be the European Championship or the World Cup, I'm not sure. But I could easily see him with an international winners medal at some point at least. Something that Zlatan never had. I mean, I think they finished second in the World Cup. I think. Don't actually remember, I'll be honest with you. Pablo Turgin, Argentina won it, I think. Let's have a quick look. Argentina. Yeah, they beat Sweden in the final, so Sweden came runners up. So that's fairly good. Lionel Messi is still playing at 35 years old. Is Ronaldo? Sorry, I'll get back to the video in a moment. I just need to know about Cristiano Ronaldo. He is at 38 and he's still worth more than Messi. Well, I think this game is predicting something it probably can't actually follow through with. A 39-year-old Ronaldo will retire next season, most likely. Unless he retires this season, obviously. But his contract runs down next season. And arguably, I don't think he's going to be as much use to Juventus as a 39-year-old as he probably was when he joined them as a 34-year-old. I mean, 5 years does a lot to a player. But knowing this game, you could easily play into his 40s. I mean, I've seen a player on this game that was, I think, 45 before he retired. So clearly they have got some form of ability left if they're still playing. But I don't think he's international anymore. I wouldn't have thought so. Especially not at £7.5 million. Probably not good enough for an international team of Portugal standard. But in saying that, Lionel Messi's still playing at only £3 million. Got Burnley and Brentford as a No, that's Reading and Brentford. Where did I get Burnley from? Oh, Burnley's here, that's why. Yeah, so Freitas has joined us as a B fan reaction, which is very nice. I'd like to see him do well for us, I think. He's clearly not going to play for us at the time. We can get him out on loan to Shamrock Rovers, I think probably best. And then if we do that, it'd be quite good. Oh, Sam Jones. Potential Premier Division talent. Now that's what I like to see. That is what I like to see. Richard Nante's improved to a Sky Bet Championship player, which is nice. And Nuno Freitas could easily become a key player. Yeah, look on long term. And we'll get him out on loan to Shamrock Rovers, I'm guessing. On loan, targets. All clubs from Australia, all clubs from Brazil. Actually, no, not these two. I picked those two. I need to pick European teams. Sorry, I'll get there in a moment. I'm brain farting for some reason. So France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Portugal, not Scotland, and Spain. There we go. Mainly because we kind of need him to get a work permit. So if we can loan him out to one of these clubs, brilliant. Get him a work permit in a couple of years, and when he reaches back at the club next season, he could easily be a £8,000 a week player who will be a first team choice for us. Well, not this season, obviously. He'll be come back after about 2 or 3 seasons. When he starts to turn out 2021, he'll be at full potential, I think. And knowing the current state of affairs, I have a slight feeling we're probably going to get promoted this season. Because we're currently top of the table and clear by 5 points over Burnley. So I do think that promotion is maybe not guaranteed, but definitely the possibility. Boston United did lose, unfortunately, to Salford City, which is very unfortunate. Southend lost to Bristol Rovers. Brown Sterling. I assume that's not Keziah Brown Sterling. If that's even his name, I don't think that's his name, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, definitely a number of teams want his contract on loan. Jesus Christ, 72. That's a large number. Cole Palmer wins a 3-1 win for Shrewsbury over Sutton. Newport County lost to Bolton. And as I said, Boston lost to Salford. Bristol Rovers, yeah. Someone called Brown Sterling plays for you now. Under 23s. I did see it, I know I saw it. Where did he come from? Okay, maybe it was Southend he played for then. Let's have a quick look. Demarilio Brown Sterling. Okay. So I must be getting his name mixed up then with... Is it just Keziah Sterling then? Is it Keziah Brown Sterling? I don't actually remember. It's just Sterling. Okay, I must have got his name confused. Anyway, got our game now against Luton Town. Off of that tangent now. Lovely. Apparently we've played them 5 times so far. Beaten them twice, lost twice, drawn once. Yeah, I'm expecting a win. I'll be honest with you, I'm expecting a win. Doyle is going to be replaced with... where is he? There he is, Etienne Capoue. And Matthew Clark is going to be replaced with Sebastian Casares. Now Matthew Clark come out of the team as a permanent for Davies, and Doyle will come out for Stiepermann. Stiepermann's back from his injury, so he'll want to come in for Ben Knight, which is annoying, but what can you do? Casares is going to be getting a no-nonsense centre-back cover role. And yeah, that's the team we're going to play with. And we should be beating Luton Town. Admittedly, I'll admit. Well done, brain. Admittedly, this isn't the strongest team we could be fielding, but it's a good team nevertheless, and I think it's strong enough for us to win. Especially against a team who are not bottom mid-table, but lower mid-table, who really aren't, championship calibre properly yet. They're still learning the ropes of the division, and as a result, aren't quite at the level they need to be at for the division. Luton Town clear the ball away, only throws to Nsebe. Thompson with the ball, puts it out to Romeo. Romeo holds the ball up, passes it on the field, on the floor to Albrighton, cross the ball in, and Balogun's head out wide of the post. So far, 4 minutes down, 2 shots apiece, 1 on target apiece. But we are dominating possession so far, though, which is very nice to see. And thankfully, the temperature has gone up by 11 degrees, from -6 to not plus 11. It's gone up by plus 13. Yeah, plus 13. Yeah, plus 13. I don't know where my maths went wrong there. I don't understand. I got a B in my GCSE maths. How did I get that wrong? So it's just simple things that trip up those that are trying their hardest. But currently still 0-0. Back to the football match, rather than a mathematics lesson. It's currently still 0-0 here, which is unfortunate, because we need to be winning this game. We're going to make 2 changes. One of them being Balogun for Dzeko, the other being Steeperman for Knight. Other than that, we're going to keep the rest of the team as it is, as we don't need to make any other changes so far. Hopefully when Erdogan returns from his loan deal at Kayaspor, he'll be able to fit straight into the first team. Vitmar with a long clearance, chased by Viabar. Viabar tries to run it past the defender, doesn't quite make it, passes to Williams instead, who passes it back to Thompson. Thompson puts the ball out wide. Lewis heads the ball. What? That went over the line, didn't it? Okay, maybe not. Free kick from Luton Town, wide of the post, thankfully, because the goalkeeper did a terrible job of trying to get across to it otherwise. And they've put Laurent Viel, the striker, in an attacking right midfield role. No wonder they're lower mid-table. They can't even put the striker in the right place. Currently, it's still 0-0. And this is getting on my nerves, the fact that it's still 0-0. I'm going to make the final change being Rothwell coming on for Albrighton as an inside forward. I want to see a good display. Hopefully Rothwell can do something that will give us a lead in this match. Get a bit of creativity in them for the last 10 minutes of the game, and it looks quite likely it's going to be a 1-0 defeat. And no, not a 1-0 defeat, sorry, a 0-0 draw, which means that Brentford close in to just 1 point behind. And it is all over. That is very, very poor, because we really should have won that game. But doesn't matter. We got Oxford next. Obviously won't be on camera. And then after Oxford, Turgeman will return from his international duties, and hopefully will be available for first team choice, and will be good enough for first team choice. Now I'll tell you with a 0-0 draw for Swansea. Blackburn finally win a match, and it is a 4-0 demolishing of Nottingham Forest. Oxford do lose to Leeds, and Brandon Williams and Marlon Romeo need to break now as well, which is very annoying. Northampton Town 2, Dunfermline 1. Why did they play a match against each other? The Tunnocks Wafer Challenge Cup. I have never heard of this thing before in my life. The hell is this? I am genuinely confused about what this is. This is like just a UK Cup tournament that just features Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and England. Obviously, never mind. I just heard what I said in my head, and well, obviously. Except for the Ladbrokes Premier. There's no Ladbrokes Premier teams. Just Ladbrokes Championship, League 1 and League 2. And obviously the Dansk Bank Premier Division for Northern Ireland. And IPD for actual Ireland. Is there any Welsh teams? Let's have a look. I guess there is a Welsh team here. The Cymru Premier for TNS. Who did they play in the next round? They lost to Dunfermline, who then lost to Northampton. Oh no, they beat Barnet, sorry, and then they lost to Northampton in the semi-final. So the final is either going to be Northampton versus Rangers Reserves or Morton. Okay, I had never heard of that competition before. The Tunnix Caramel Wafer Challenge Cup. Okay, fair enough. Anyway, hopefully we should get I should get this video up by 3 o'clock today. If not, it'll be up 3 o'clock tomorrow, obviously. And then the next video will be whenever, because I just don't know anymore. That's the problem. The next video will be Portsmouth and Brentford, I think. Yeah, it'll be Portsmouth and Brentford, the next two games. And then if we do bottle it near the end and we get playoffs, the next episode will be the playoffs. If not, it'll be the Reading game. But until then, as I say every single week, I bid thee adieu, goodbye.